You've probably witnessed somebody saying, I'm going to teach them a lesson they won't forget. Or you may have said something like that yourself if you're in a conflict or you're trying to change the behavior of a child or something like that. Um, and it's an interesting thing to say because it is so egocentric. Um, the person who says, I'm going to teach them a lesson, may have some kind of behavior change in mind that they want to create in the other person. But that other person isn't going to learn the lesson that um, that is sent. Um, they might learn something else. They might learn something about you. For example, they might learn that you're a person to be avoided, or they're not going to change my behavior, but I'm going to do it someplace else where that person can't witness it. But we've known in psychology. I mean, we say punishment doesn't teach people new behavior; it suppresses behavior selectively. We don't unlearn anything from punishment. Um, we simply adjust our behavior to avoid the person who's saying that they're going to teach us a lesson. Uh, and so it's kind of a silly thing to say. And that's not how learning occurs anyway. You know, learning occurs when the learner picks up information and it changes them. Teaching is kind of an illusion. But teaching is putting things in front of the learner that the learner might pick up, but you cross your fingers and hope that that will happen. A teacher can't make someone learn, and you can't teach an opponent uh, that you're against and you're trying to change their behavior. You can't teach them things that they don't want to learn. And they're not very motivated to get inside your head and figure out what lesson you're talking about. So the other person will perceive that teaching as just another move in a cycle of conflict. You know, they're going to think, well, that person took their turn to attack me, and the way they attacked me was to say they're going to teach me something. It's very counterproductive and rather silly. Now, most conflicts end eventually with talking, with not by one person trying to force another person to change, but with some kind of negotiation. And so why don't we do that earlier? Why don't we stop trying to push and shove each other around and teach each other imaginary lessons and accept the fact that, you know, conflicts end through talking. And a good way to initiate that talking is to start by looking for something that the other person is saying that you can accept. So that then you can say, you know, you've got a point. When we're in a conflict and when we're angry at something, we forget a lot of the things that we have in common with the other person. But we do still have things in common with that person. And a good skill for initiating a negotiation to end a conflict is to look for an opportunity to say, you've got a point, and to stop saying, I'm going to teach you a lesson. If you found this interesting, please like the video and consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you very much.